We now especially no more focus on internalization of content. We focus on reels कि यहां से कोई कॉन्सेप्ट समझ में आ जाएगा. वैसे कॉन्सेप्ट यूपीएससी के लिए समझ में नहीं आएगा. चाय पीते वक्त दोस्त के साथ डिस्कशन में वो बहुत काम आता है. दिस पर्सन वुड कम आउट ऑफ द एग्जामिनेशन हॉल थिंकिंग कि आई हैव डन प्रीटी वेल. But my point is, this is a very surface level answer and ineffective answer. It will not fetch you that much amount of marks. The reason being, I'll show you an effective answer. What do I mean by when I say a well-structured, analytical, high-quality UPSC answer? Now, this is a well-structured, analytical answer which will fetch good amount 9 out of 12.5 or whatever. This will fetch much less marks. Is it just lack of content, structure, understanding, organization? Yeah, there is something more between a ranker's answer and a person who's preparing day in and day out, reading the same content but with different results. This is an example of very misaligned preparation. मिसअलाइंड प्रिपरेशन अभी क्या है और ये जो मिसअलाइंड प्रिपरेशन के प्रॉब्लम्स आपको कहां पे आ रहे हैं, वी विल बी डिस्कसिंग दैट टुडे अ लॉट. गुड इवनिंग एवरीबॉडी. सो हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू हैव अटेंडेड माय एनी ऑफ द लेक्चर्स और seminars before? Okay. Now let's try to keep this session as interactive as possible. This session is quite different from the previous ones. It will be not about my content or how we make content or how we interact with students. It's rather we would be touching upon four primary problems which each and every UPSC aspirant faces during their preparation schedule, be it 1 year, 2 year, fresher ho, veteran ho, each and everybody has faced this problem in one time or the other. And we will try to address these problems not with very generic answers, but in a rather very broad and logical sense, so that it is more based on analytics and data rather than me just giving a lot more gyan to you. There's a lot of gyan available on YouTube across channels. You don't need more gyan with respect to that. And in the process, we will be taking up 4 to 5 very important topics. Essentially, strategy sessions are designed in a way that we tell you how to study and which sources to refer. But it is no session at all if I am not addressing 2 or 3 very important topics. So that is why this session will again be important, so that आप वो टॉपिक को अच्छे से देखो कि कैसे हम अप्रोच कर रहे हैं और आप अपने अप्रोच में क्या चेंजेस ला सकते हो. This is the goal of this entire 1 hour 40 minute session, whichever we are going to have. Now, before that, I want to know a bit of demographics about today's webinar. Just how many of you are freshers? Yes, Amit, you can type it in the chat box if you have any questions. How many of you are freshers? Okay, so this is your first attempt. Okay, civils. Okay, so that's great. That's great. The best thing about fresher is the teacher or the faculty is more nervous than the fresher क्योंकि वो कहीं से भी question पूछते हैं. And this is the best time for you to have such amount of session because we will be discussing what not to do. Now, before giving all those gyan and discussing each and every aspect, how many of you have heard of this term constitutional morality? Okay, Amrendra, that's good. I think you will relate to a lot of stuff. How many of you have heard of the term constitutional morality? Divya, Jaydev, Sushma. Okay. Now, if I tell you to define constitutional morality, okay, Akanksha, course completion, we'll touch upon that. What is constitutional morality? Anybody, any one or two of you can just write down this answer. Whoever have said that they know, just briefly. what essentially is constitutional morality? We can tell that it is the philosophy or the principles of the constitution which ought to be followed and forms the bedrock of democratic governance. Yes, Vashishta, it's a set of core values and principles that underlie and guide the functioning of a constitution. And this particular term has been in news and so in UPSC question papers for the past 3-4 years. In fact, आप अगर किसी I think 2021 essay में भी there was a direct question from this particular term. So clearly, we have studied this particular subject or topic quite extensively in our preparation. या जो first timers है, आप जब PYQs करोगे, आप देखोगे constitutional morality को आज के डेट पे it's treated as a separate subject altogether or separate chapter altogether. So you essentially learn what all facts, importance, its needs, its challenges. Then you have its case laws, and then you have conclusion or way forward or how do we maintain constitutional morality. So अगर मैं बोलूं यही एस्पेक्ट्स हैं जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल मोरालिटी, अब किसी का भी करंट अफेयर्स मटेरियल या स्टैटिक बुक उठा के देख लो, it will focus upon these 5 aspects: importance, need, challenges, laws and a conclusion. और स्टार्टिंग में डेफिनेशन होगा उसका. Am I clear on this? आप भी अगर जब प्रिपेयर करोगे you will focus on these aspects. But what is important to know here is हेडलाइंस और न्यूज में कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल मोरालिटी के बारे में क्या बात हो रही है और व्हाट इज इन न्यूज विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल मोरालिटी, वेयर द पब्लिक डिस्कोर्स इज. इफ यू सी, it was extensively in news in 2024 where the Chief Justice of India, the then Chief Justice of India, underlined constitutional morality as a means to preserve India's diversity. And it was covered across all the major newspapers. Be it a Business Standard, Hindu Indian Express तो है ही, हर जगह पे ये कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल मोरालिटी और डाइवर्सिटी के साथ लिंक कवर हुआ है. My point is, when you are preparing, you prepare in one particular set pattern: importance, needs, challenges, law. अभी questions, but आपके प्रिपरेशन के ऊपर यूपीएससी का क्वेश्चन डिपेंड नहीं करता है. It depends on what is in the public news at that time. So a very probable question on this could be: constitutional morality is more than just adhering to the constitutional provisions. If you see the definitions which all of you have written, I'll read out some. Like, constitutional morality is adherence to the core principles of the constitution, following fundamental principles of constitution. Then one of you wrote philosophy of constitution with examples of liberty and equality. Essentially, you are focusing on this aspect, adhering to the constitutional provisions. Am I right? But what does the UPSC throw at you? It is not just that, but also a way of life. Now, the answer becomes tricky because you have one part of the answer. You know what is its importance, what is its needs, what is its challenges. If it was just analyze the first sentence, you all had your set notes prepared. But UPSC asked you this question where it went a step further, asking you how it is a way of life. Now, यहाँ पे मार्क्स कहाँ पे कटता है स्टूडेंट्स का? आपने एक चीज पढ़ा है, क्वेश्चन उससे 2 स्टेप आगे जाके पूछ रहा है, यहाँ पे मार्क्स कटता है. What is the issue here? See, now this is one answer. अभी यहाँ पे अगर देखोगे, It refers to following the constitution in letter and spirit. This answer also refers to B.R. Ambedkar said that constitutional morality is essential for democracy. Then in the body, it mentions importance, examples, challenges, conclusion. इसने मोटा मोटी कुछ कुछ कवर किया है, इसको आगे एक्सप्लेन कर देगा. And this person would come out of the examination hall thinking, I have done pretty well. But my point is, this is a very surface level answer and ineffective answer. It will not fetch you that much amount of marks. The reason being, I'll show you an effective answer. What do I mean by when I say a well-structured, analytical, high-quality UPSC answer? So see this. Points लगभग same है, but उसके body का division देखो. First sentence was, constitutional morality is more than just adhering to constitutional provisions. What does this mean? This means rule-based compliance. So constitutional morality and rule-based compliance. He has compared it in two short sentences. Then he moves to the main part that it is a way of life. Why constitutional morality is a way of life. Then he provides separate heading for all the case studies and examples. The Navtej Singh Johar case, which focused on decriminalization of LGBTQ rights, that was a bedrock of constitutional morality. Sabarimala case, which advocated for women's entry into the temples, that again formed a foundation of constitutional morality. And then he moves into challenges and concludes it. Now, this is a well-structured analytical answer, which will fetch good amount, 9 out of 12.5 or whatever. This will fetch much less marks. Now, if I ask you, what are the differences between both the answers? Can some of you tell in the chat box what exactly was the difference between the both? All those who answered constitutional morality, please jump into the conversation. What was the difference between both? Okay, so I say meeting the demand of the question is one. Structuring is different. Okay. Okay. Now, when do you meet the demand of the question? When you have that much amount of strong content. Correct, Bablu, that is what. Then someone said evidence, or as we say, examples. Now, this is also a part of content. Better understanding. Okay. Again, the same relevance of the content with respect to the question. Mota moti, you can identify that these 3 or 4 are the issues. Now, but the thing is it just lack of content, structure, understanding, organization? Yeah, there is something more between a ranker's answer and a person who's preparing day in and day out, reading the same content, but with different results. It cannot be only content and structure. Because हम पढ़ तो सेम चीज ही रहे हैं. जो बबलू सूना, जो नागेश या जो यज्ञेश्वर, सुषमा, एनसीईआरटी, लक्ष्मीकांत, करंट अफेयर्स के भी अगर मैं आई बी रियली ब्लंट, देयर आर 1 or 2 सोर्सेस. किसी ने क्लास लगा लिया समाचार मंथन या और कोई आईएएस का, तो वो क्लास नोट्स. So these 3 or 4 sources are limited. So it just can't be content and structure. And each and every YouTube video which you come across or Telegram channels, you will find this, each and everyone harping on content. यहाँ से पढ़ लो, हमारा content best है, structuring के लिए यहाँ चले जाओ, यहाँ अच्छा है. But there is something really crucial and more than that. And what is that? That we are going to see. देखो, इसमें जो first answer था ये, he or she, whoever has written this, he or she has not written it wrong. Uste point he has covered rule of law, discrimination, governance, स्ट्रक्चर बोल सकते हो कि उसने थोड़ा इन डेप्थ समझा है, बट ये इन डेप्थ समझा क्यों है? व्हाट इज द रीजन बिहाइंड इट? द मेन रीजन बिहाइंड इट इज दिस: lack of internalization of content. Now, what do I mean by internalization of content? You know preamble क्या है, you understand preamble कब हुआ था, objectives resolution से आया था, preamble में कौन कौन से word है, UPSC has asked one question on socialism, secularism, so we start learning them and each and every aspect की अभी are we actually implementing preamble? ऐसा ही हमारा तरीका रहता है पढ़ने का. But as aspirants, wherever you go, they never tell you to think it conceptually. In a world where you have 100 content available for one particular topic, what we clearly miss is a good conceptual focus and the basics at the foundation level. Now, once you understand a particular concept, I think everybody of you must have read about this a plus b whole square and this equation. You solved a lot of problems with respect to this equation only. This is something which we have internalized in ourselves. Why have we internalized it? Because we understand what is the background of it. We have solved a lot of problems. We have delved many more, a lot of time into it. That is where today's preparation essentially lacks with respect to UPSC, because we are running after 1000 content things. The point is UPSC asks questions from that set of syllabus. It does not go above that. But we now especially no more focus on internalization of content. We focus on reels कि यहां से कोई कॉन्सेप्ट समझ में आ जाएगा. वैसे कॉन्सेप्ट यूपीएससी के लिए समझ में नहीं आएगा. चाय पीते वक्त दोस्त के साथ डिस्कशन में वो बहुत काम आता है. दिस इज अ एग्जाम्पल ऑफ वेरी मिसअलाइंड प्रिपरेशन. मिसअलाइंड प्रिपरेशन अभी क्या है, और ये जो मिसअलाइंड प्रिपरेशन के प्रॉब्लम्स आपको कहां कहां पे आ रहे हैं, I am very hopeful that we will be discussing that today a lot. You please shoot your questions at me. For understanding misaligned preparation, we need to identify what are the signs. क्योंकि ये signs during your preparation वो दिख जाते हैं. Now, ये बहुत जनों को attempt देने के बाद पता चलता है कि हमने वहां वहां पे गलती किया. That is why this webinar is very important, because please take care of these signs while you prepare for your 1.5 years. I'll be focusing on 4, and these 4 will cover each and every strategy based problems which you have. First, the efficiency trap. Second, we'll move into the dopamine loop, confidence illusion, and fragmented mindset. While not wasting much more time, let's move into the efficiency trap first. So this was a question which came in UPSC Mains 2022. It asks you discuss the natural resource potential of Deccan trap. Now, this is a question at the face of it. At the face of it, this is a question which you feel that it is something which everybody would know. Because ये एनसीईआरटी में है, काफी बार पढ़ा हुआ होगा. बट एनसीईआरटी में है क्या? एनसीईआरटी में ये 3 चीजें. One is the Deccan Plateau in the physiography chapter, which talks about where is it located and what all hills are a part of it. It gives an aspect of the physiography of Deccan Trap. Then you have it again in the minerals chapter, very fragmentedly, where it does not mention the word Deccan Trap. अभी जो रेफरेंस बुक्स में भी आप जाओगे, you will see in the minerals chapter, it will list down a lot of minerals. Unless you are from geography optional, iron, से निकल एंड एटसेट्रा एटसेट्रा। एंड देन कहाँ कहाँ पे डेक्कन ट्रैप होगा, तो वो रिसोर्स डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन में यू विल हैव दैट एज वन ऑफ द पॉइंट्स। But what does the question ask again? This is a direct UPSC question. Discuss the natural resource potential of Deccan Trap. This is the natural resource potential of Deccan Trap. This content is from NCERT directly, but it was fragmented across multiple chapters, across multiple classes. Black soil आपका soil chapter में है, where you can relate it to cotton cultivation. It is a major agricultural natural resource. Then you have rocks. You talk about how Deccan Trap was formed from mantle plume. Then you have energy here as well, which is again a part of the energy wala chapter. Now the same answer is fragmented across multiple chapters. Now why does this issue arise is because every one of us during our preparation, we confuse speed with success. कि मैंने एक स्पेशली इन द फर्स्ट फाउंडेशन वाला जब आपका पढ़ाई रहता है कि मैंने एक दिन में 5 चैप्टर पढ़ लिए, तो उसका रूममेट इमीडिएटली परेशान होता है तब कि उसने 5 पढ़ लिए, मेरे को कल 6 चैप्टर्स पढ़ने हैं। आवर मेट्रिक्स ऑफ प्रिपेयरिंग इज हम कितने घंटों में कितने चैप्टर्स कंप्लीट कर रहे हैं। एंड दिस इज अ वेरी रॉन्ग अप्रोच। वी आर आप एफिशिएंटली भी पढ़ रहे हो, but efficiency of your study may not be equal to effectivity of your study. कोई चीज efficient है मतलब क्या है? जितना आप इनपुट दे रहे हो उससे ज्यादा आउटपुट आप ले रहे हो। 6 घंटों में 6 चैप्टर आज पढ़े हैं, कल 6 घंटों में 8 चैप्टर पढ़ लूंगा, तो मैं ज्यादा एफिशिएंट पढ़ रहा हूँ। बट आर यू एबल टू कनेक्ट दोस 8 चैप्टर्स की जब आंसर्स क्वेश्चंस पूछे आपको यूपीएससी, your answer is wholesome, well structured. That is what I call as effectivity. It is very important in the present day, the way UPSC is asking to for you to move from an efficient preparation to effective preparation. Deccan Traps आपने 10 जगह 10 बार पढ़ा होगा, but you stay back, take a step back, look, think about Deccan Trap, spend more time analyzing Deccan Trap, so that Deccan Trap से कोई भी क्वेश्चन है, you will be ready to attempt it. You don't have to prepare 1000 pages. You have to prepare 100 pages 100 times for you to score good marks. ये जो efficiency के चक्कर में never compromise your effectivity. अब first attempt में हो, second attempt में हो, third attempt में हो, the point you run after efficiency and you complete 8 chapters per day, the next thing which you will do कि मेरा ये हो गया, अभी next book ले आता हूं, फिर आपका दूसरा बुक एड ऑन होगा आपके बुक शेल्फ। वो भी आप कंप्लीट कर लोगे, बट वो एक बार कंप्लीट होगा ना, इस पहले बुक का सेकंड बुक से कोई रिश्ता नहीं रहेगा उस केस। दिस इज व्हाट इज कॉल्ड द एफिशिएंसी ट्रैप। नाउ लेट अस टेक अ टॉपिक, we'll move to chapter 2, which I call the dopamine loop. How many of you are aware of the term dopamine? Yes, come on. I'll take all the questions. Just let my set get over and I come across to the climax of this, because that is where actually you'll get what you need to do after these 4 chapters. Okay, what is okay? If you're aware, then what is dopamine? Okay, and what is serotonin? Difference between dopamine and serotonin is basically pleasure versus happiness. यहाँ पे प्लेजर वर्सेस हैप्पीनेस का बहुत ज्यादा रोल रहता है प्रिपरेशन। आई टेक दिस एग्जांपल ऑफ इंडिपेंडेंस ऑफ जुडिशियरी। दीज आर आल्सो फॉर द पीपल जिन्होंने अपने प्रिपरेशन स्टार्ट किया, अपना प्रिपरेशन अलाइन कर लिया साल भर का, माइक्रो थीम्स के साथ, पीवाईक्यू के साथ, सबके साथ अलाइन कर लिया। आपने वहां पे देखा इंडिपेंडेंस ऑफ जुडिशरी एक टॉपिक है जो बार बार यूपीएससी में आता है, करंट अफेयर्स में आता है, एनसीईआरटी में है, लक्ष्मीकांत में है। आई थिंक दिस वन टॉपिक हर साल हर कोई एस्पिरेंट पढ़ता है। तो यू गो बैक टू योर ड्राइंग बोर्ड and then focus on this topic alone, which is independence of judiciary. आपके फर्स्ट बेसिक सोर्सेस क्या है? फर्स्ट इज एनसीईआरटी, where you talk about the simply stated independence of judiciary means that the other organs of the government, like the executive and legislature, must not restrain the functioning of judiciary in such a way that it is unable to do justice. और फिर उसको एनसीईआरटी has the most and the most convenient and the best use of language. जो बेसिक कॉन्सेप्ट है आपका यहाँ पे क्लियर हो गया। और उसको हाउ कैन द इंडिपेंडेंस ऑफ जुडिशरी बी प्रोवाइडेड एंड प्रोटेक्टेड, देन इट मेक्स, आप इससे ये समझ भी लिए कि व्हाट आर द टूल्स ऑफ प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ द इंडिपेंडेंस ऑफ जुडिशरी। अभी आया फैक्ट्स की बारी। फैक्ट्स के लिए यू हैव द एज ओल्ड लक्ष्मीकांत। Now, what does Lakshmikant do in your preparation? Lakshmikant basically gives you the facts for you to make one pager notes और फिर उसको रटना है साल भर। This is what, this is how each and every aspirant would approach. Mind you, I'm telling aspirant and not a banker. और इसके बाद current affairs आ जाएगा। When current affair comes, then you probably add on some of the content to the respective points. But now, see, UPSC, you need to understand, UPSC is going analytical. तो प्रीवियसली जो भी फाउंडेशन या जो कहीं भी कोई भी पढ़ रहा था, तो उसका एक सेट तरीका था, ये सेट तरीका था। स्टार्ट विथ एनसीईआरटी, गो टिल अ रेफरेंस बुक, एंड योर थिंग इज सॉर्टेड। Now, what change has come is it asks you to analyze judicial independence from various aspects. आप एनालाइज किस तरह से करोगे? हर कोई तो लॉयर हो नहीं, या हर किसी का उतना स्ट्रॉन्ग लीगल नॉलेज नहीं है। दैट मीन्स यू नीड टू बी टॉट इन अ सच अ वे, आप वो खुद पढ़ो या चाहे किसी फाउंडेशन या किसी टीचर के पास जाके पढ़ो, you need to be taught in such a way that that particular topic you can handle from any aspect. जैसे आपने ये पढ़ा एनसीईआरटी और लक्ष्मीकांत से, अभी क्वेश्चन अगर आता है जुडिशियल इंडिपेंडेंस एंड रूल ऑफ लॉ का इंटरसेक्शन बताओ इंडिया में, what the generic answer would be is these 10 points of judicial independence, and probably you'll take some examples from idhar udhar with respect to current affairs, and that is what your answer will look like. But where does UPSC go? You need something like this. So if you see the need of judicial independence, आप इससे भी लिख सकते हो, upholding justice, other organs of the government, and then you try to make up the answer at the examination hall based on your understanding. Else you go with this. What is the need of judicial independence? Or what are the 7 elements of judicial independence? अभी इसको आप challenges की तरह लिखो या way forward की तरह लिखो। जैसे सेकंड पॉइंट है, गवर्नमेंट एज द मेजर लिटिगेंट। अगर ये चैलेंजेस की तरह लिखना है तो ये डायरेक्टली लिख लोगे, सिंस गवर्नमेंट इज अ मेजर लिटिगेंट दैट इज व्हाई वी नीड जुडिशियल इंडिपेंडेंस। और इसलिए सेपरेशन स्ट्रिक्ट सेंस में नहीं हो पाता है, सिंस गवर्नमेंट वांट्स टू विन इट्स केसेस। अगर इसको वे फॉरवर्ड में लिखना है, द गवर्नमेंट शुड टेक अ अपराइट स्टैंड बिकॉज इट इज द मेजर लिटिगेंट and look for separation of powers. keep the separation of powers, which is a basic feature of the constitution, intact. आपको ये फ्रेमवर्क मिलने की जरूरी है, especially while preparing. Your preparation should be based on frameworks so that this provides you the depth on a particular topic beyond your textbooks, beyond your reference books, beyond the same current affairs which comes again and again in the market. Depth. Second, it should provide you the elements to tackle any question. If you want an example, I'll suggest you can send those answers to me as well. Pick any question, take this content as your base content and try to write an answer. The same question, try to write it from here. You will see the difference in answers. Now, this is a burning issue, January edition. This judicial independence पे article होगा. Just go and go through this. You will see the difference yourself. अभी इसको मैंने डोपामिन लूप क्यों बोला था? The reason being कि जब हम इतना कवर कर लेते हैं, we are satisfied कि this topic is done. No, that is not the case. It's either a mentor or a faculty who tells you this, या फिर you reach after 100, 200 videos to this particular stuff. It will be completed when you are able to analyze it and write it in the best possible way. I'll take a halt and take some of the questions, and then we'll move into chapter 3. Halt मतलब 10-20 सेकंड का ही halt लूंगा. हाँ पूजा, please answer. You're this पूजा, okay. इस तरह.
Yeah, I'll unmute her.
Just pattern.
Hi, Pooja.
We'll comment the micro themes now.
Yeah, Pooja, I'm trying to unmute you. Okay, yeah. Yes, you can ask your question, please.
हाँ सर, जैसे आपने माइक्रो थीम्स बताई है कि हमें हर सब्जेक्ट के हर टॉपिक पर माइक्रो थीम के अकॉर्डिंग नोट मेकिंग करनी है ताकि हम मेंस में वैसे आंसर राइटिंग कर सके. सर, जैसे हर सब्जेक्ट के हर टॉपिक में एक क्वेश्चन पैटर्न होता है, जैसे कि कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में प्रियम्बल होगा तो उसमें वो हमेशा प्रियम्बल में जितने भी वर्ड्स है उनके इम्पोर्टेंस के बारे में पूछेगा, या फिर कोई एक जैसे कि मतलब हर क्वेश्चन का एक अपना पैटर्न होता है कि वो
I understand.
मूल्यांकन के बारे में ही पूछेगा, कुछ में वो प्रभाव के बारे में ही पूछेगा. तो हमने ये तो एनालिसिस करके पीवाईक्यू से थीम बना ली है हर सब्जेक्ट के हर टॉपिक की, लेकिन अब ये समझ नहीं आ रहा है कि जैसे अगर मूल्यांकन पूछेगा तो हमें वैसे ही नोट्स कैसे बनाने हैं.
Okay,
अगर
that
प्रभाव पूछेगा तो यस सर.
I'll address that during the course only. ये क्वेश्चन मैं फिर से लूंगा अगर आपको भूल गया. ठीक है
सर.
तो क्योंकि अभी है और बाकी है काफी. ठीक है, आई थिंक बाय द एंड ऑफ दिस यू विल हैव द आंसर. Okay, time management. Okay, how to use AI for notes read. I'll address that now. See, the thing with AI is do not depend on it for your factual tasks. उससे डायरेक्टली जाके ये मत पूछो, उससे डायरेक्टली जाके ये मत पूछो कि गिव मी द आंसर फॉर दिस. दैट माइट नॉट गो द वे यू वांट इट. You can help it complement your studies in the best possible way. Complement in your studies मतलब जैसे for example you want it to summarize a particular note for you. If you make digital note, then in that case that will be very helpful. Okay, so now next we move into the confidence illusion. Now, what do you exactly mean by confidence illusion? जैसे this is a problem which I have found in a number of aspirants of late, that कि अच्छे से preparation नहीं हो. I'll come to time management in a while. Okay. Now जैसे अच्छे से preparation नहीं हुआ है. This is something which I've heard a lot, and that is why you keep on delaying your preparation schedule again and again, for a lot of period, in fact. And this especially happens with respect to your answer writing schedule. जैसे अब first month of your preparation में है, I know a lot of people who won't start writing answers from the first month. I don't agree with that concept. The reason being this. Now, these are the answers of a particular ranker. I'm going to tell you something of a particular ranker who had addressed this particular, tried to write this question, and we had asked him to write it again after a few months. Like, discuss the possible factors that inhibit India from enacting its citizens a uniform civil code as provided for in the DPSC. Now, if you see in the month 2 of writing answers and month 10 of writing answers, the points are more or less same. Religious and cultural diversity, constitutional and legal hurdles, political sensitivity, opposition from religious groups, lack of consensus. This was something which he wrote, say, in month 2 of prepping. In the month 10, जब तक वो 10th month में अपने आता है, after having a good amount of content, doing all the classes with us, then following the mentoring schedule, the answer which he or she writes is this. The clear difference, you will see a lot of use of acts, a lot of value addition, a lot of Supreme Court judgments in that. ये जो सेकेंड मंथ से 10th मंथ का आंसर राइटिंग का शेड्यूल है, ये तभी आ पाएगा जब आपने सेकेंड मंथ से आंसर राइटिंग स्टार्ट किया होगा. वो ऐसा बोलते हैं कि अभी मैं कॉन्फिडेंट नहीं हूं आंसर लिखने के लिए, सो व्हेन आई कंप्लीट द सिलेबस आई विल हैव कॉन्फिडेंस एंड देन राइट. दैट इज अ वेरी रॉन्ग अप्रोच. The point you complete a topic, start writing the answer. Answer writing is a skill. And remember, confidence is never needed to write answers. The more you write, the more confident you'll get. So, third aspect is avoid confidence illusion. जैसे आपने कोई कुछ चीज पढ़ा, उसका टेस्ट देना है, दे दो. Maximum से max, even in prelims. I was talking to people from Dominate Prelims test series. There are a lot of people who have missed the tests because they felt they were not prepared. You don't have to be prepared for Dominate series of ours. You have to be prepared for UPSC civil services. Give the test, see what happens. क्योंकि one thing, मैं prelims के केस में ये बोल रहा हूं, आप अगर वो चीज टेस्ट सीरीज में गलत करोगे, वो एग्जाम में कभी गलत नहीं करोगे. And this is a very practical thing which I'm telling. So the more you write, the more errors you make, the more confident you will get. जब एग्जाम से एक महीने पहले होगा, तब मैं आपको शायद नहीं बोलूंगा टेस्ट सीरीज लिखो और ये लिखो. तब क्या करना है मैं वो तब बोलूंगा. बट अभी जब आप इनिशियल स्टेज ऑफ प्रिपरेशन में हो, मेक एज मेनी एरर्स एज पॉसिबल. Now, the difference, how it shows in the month 2 and month 10th of preparation, there's a basic summary of it. It starts from understanding language, writing skills, structure, use of examples, constitutional references. हर जगह पे you will see that particular aspirant has developed a lot. ये आपके ऊपर है, आप वो आंसर मंथ 2 में लिखो या मंथ 10 में लिखो. आप अगर डायरेक्टली जाके एग्जाम में लिखना चाहोगे तो वो मंथ 2 ऑफ प्रिपरेशन वाला आंसर ही आएगा. फाइनली आई कम टू दैट मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट, दैट इज द फोर्थ चैप्टर एंड द फ्रेगमेंटेड माइंडसेट, व्हिच पूजा वाज राइटली पॉइंटिंग आउट. फ्रेगमेंटेड माइंडसेट के बारे में आप सबको पता होगा. माइक्रो थीम्स के बारे में हमने काफी बात की है. ये पीपीपी मॉडल स्ट्रक्चर है. जैसे पीपीपी मॉडल के ऊपर आप पीपीपी का कंटेंट सेपरेटली पढ़ोगे, बट once you use the micro themes, your preparation becomes very structured. That is where your micro themes help and avoids you the fragmented mindset. However, there is a second part to the fragmented mindset, taking a step further. This was a news which came in fact, it came last month. On January 3rd, 2025, the MeitY released the much anticipated draft Digital Personal Data Protection Rules, a key movement in India's journey to regulate digital personal data. यहाँ पे PYQ माइक्रो थीम सॉर्टेड है, बट यहाँ पे आपको एक लेवल ऊपर जाना पड़ेगा. वो जो फ्रैगमेंटेड माइंडसेट अवॉइड तब होगा जब इस पर्टिकुलर न्यूज आइटम का स्टैटिक पार्ट आप पकड़ोगे, और उसका स्टैटिक पार्ट है व्हाई इज इट एसेंशियल टू बैलेंस द प्राइवेसी राइट्स एंड द गवर्नमेंट नीड्स. ये वाला चीज पूजा पूछ रही थी अभी थोड़े टाइम पहले कि हमें माइक्रो थीम तो पता चल गया, बट उससे कहां तक पढ़ना है. दैट इज व्हाट एसेंशियली हर क्वेश्चन वाज, कि अगर माइक्रो थीम मेरे को राइट टू प्राइवेसी पता चला, तो उसको मैक्सिमम कहां तक लेके जाना है वो कैसे समझे. उसका बेस्ट तरीका है करंट अफेयर्स का एक टॉपिक लो, जैसे ये वाला. दिस इज व्हाट माय प्रोसेस इज. नो ड्राफ्ट डिजिटल डेटा पर्सनल डेटा प्रोटेक्शन. अब फिर मेरे दिमाग में सिलेबस छपा हुआ है, माइक्रो थीम्स मैंने काफी बार पढ़ लिया है. मैं फिर इसको एक पेपर पे ही उसको लिंक्स बनाता हूं, कौन से सब्जेक्ट से इसका मोस्ट क्लोजेस्ट लिंक है. पेपर 2 में है राइट टू लाइफ, राइट टू प्राइवेसी. एथिक्स में आ सकता है डेटा लोकलाइजेशन की वजह से बिग टेक इंडस्ट्री कैसे इफेक्ट हो रहा है, हाउ विल द स्टार्टअप्स गेट अफेक्टेड. ये ब्रॉडली मैं जानता हूं कि डिजिटल डेटा प्रोटेक्शन का लिंक इन सब से है. वो मैंने एक पेपर पे लिख लिया ना. एक बार जब मैंने लिख लिया, देन आई सर्च द माइक्रो थीम डॉक्यूमेंट कि पर्सनल डेटा के बारे में किस किस पेपर में पूछा गया है. पेपर 2 में पूछा गया है, पेपर 4 में पूछा गया है. उसका नोट्स मैं एक्सटेंसिव बनाता हूँ, चाहे बर्निंग थीम से हो, समाचार मंथन के क्लास से हो या कहीं से हो. पेपर 2 और पेपर 4 का नोट एक्सटेंसिव बनाता हूँ. और जो पेपर 3 का मैंने बोला बिग टेक इंडस्ट्री, वो अभी तक इतने एक्सप्लोर नहीं हुआ है, तो उसको हल्के से हाफ पेज में कंप्लीट कर लेता हूं, बिकॉज आई हैव सम कंटेंट टू राइट 5 to 6 points. That is enough for me, since UPSC has not forayed into this section. But since UPSC has forayed into personal data protection and GS4, I will go into this particular topic with a lot of depth. If any of you have been in Samachar Manthan class, in fact, this particular topic, I remember that each and every provision, its challenges, and what the government should do was discussed point wise, because we understand the fact that this is a very important topic from GS2 aspect. Now, these are the 4 chapters which we have essentially identified. Pooja, I'll get back to you once I complete the set. Now, once we have identified this, how do we rectify? Now, there are 4 proper techniques I'll tell you. First is the efficiency trap, and this is actually the entirety of whatever I'm going to tell. Suppose efficiency trap को आपने अगर capture कर लिया and your preparation goes towards effectivity, वहीं पे your half of the job is done. I'll call that as layered learning. आपने कोई टॉपिक लिया, जैसे हमने कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल मोरालिटी लिया था, उसको साइकिल्स में रिवाइज करो. साइकिल्स में मतलब फर्स्ट आपका कंटेंट अगर पता है, इन 3 जगह से आपको पढ़ना है. सो फर्स्ट अंडरस्टैंड द टॉपिक कॉम्प्रिहेंसिवली. आपको 1 घंटे में कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल मोरालिटी नहीं निपटना है. यू हैव टू रीड इट थॉरली. Let it take 2 hours, 3 hours. Usually it is the largest amount of time which will take for you to study in that first reading. Remember that in the first reading, your only focus is understanding constitutional morality. Don't try to remember anything. अगर constitutional articles भी याद नहीं आ रहा है, then also it is fine. Understand the entire topic. In the second stage, perform the exercise which I just said. Constitutional morality का various dimensions. Since it's a very polity specific topic, try to get the various dimensions कि पॉलिटी में कहाँ कहाँ आ सकता है कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल मोरालिटी. राइट्स में आ सकता है, जुडिशरी में आ सकता है, जुडिशरी का लॉ क्या आ सकता है, केस लॉस क्या क्या है. सेकेंड रीडिंग में अब डेप्थ पे गए, यू एनालाइज द टॉपिक at a bit more level. This is where you start making short notes कि आपको कहीं से कुछ मिल गया. In the first slide we talked about former Chief Justice Chandrachud. So he was talking about diversity and constitutional morality, how it is related. Go for the depth. डेप्थ वाले सेक्शन में आपके नोट्स बनेंगे. जो थर्ड रीडिंग रहेगा, दैट इज योर एप्लीकेशन बेस्ड रीडिंग. That is when you will start writing answers, writing tests, giving these or mains test series. This is UDA cycle. First understand, then go for the depth, then apply it. For every topic chapter wise, or since you're at the start of your preparation, or this is you still have time for your preparation, this is a very good method to go forward. Then once you get out of that efficiency trap, then I think people at UAP or there's this mentorship tracker. If you're not there at that point as well, कोई एक सिंपल सा डायरी ले लो, जो न्यू ईयर हैप्पी न्यू ईयर वाले डायरी आते हैं, एंड मेक श्योर कि यू गो फॉर एफर्ट बेस्ड माइलस्टोन्स. एफर्ट बेस्ड माइलस्टोन्स मतलब नॉट आउटकम बेस्ड कि 10 पेजेस लिख लिए, 20 पेजेस लिख लिए, 20 पेजेस पढ़ लिए. You make topics ki chapter 1 to 5 polity, this date to this date. Stick to that. If you miss out on newspaper 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, that is fine. But stick to this effort based milestones any which way. Try, और ये milestones miss होंगे, but try to give it your best shot. Third, overcome the illusion. The illusion we talked about कि जब सब complete हो जाएगा तब जाके हम आंसर लिख लेंगे. That is not going to happen. Once you move into the third cycle, जब application third cycle of reading में आ गया, go and write answers. You might get 2 out of 10, 2 out of 15, 2 out of 12, whatever the marks is. But write answers. वो same answer एक बार लिखो, 2 बार लिखो, third time you will start writing the best answers. And progressively try to increase the level of your answers. You get the answers back, see what you could have done differently. See the book and write a same answer in a different way. These are some of the tricks which are going to help you during the long run, during the 1 year of preparation which you have. In fact, we at Civilsdaily are trying to incorporate this as much as possible with our own students. But obviously, you can implement this if you stay away from these 4 traps during your preparation. First attempt is not a big deal for clearing UPSC. Trust me. So with that, we'll come to the conclusion of this.